You're lying in bed. It's 11 p.m. Everyone else is asleep, and you're just staring at the ceiling. Not because you're not tired, you're exhausted, but your brain won't stop running the same numbers. Credit card balance, monthly minimum, that loan from 6 months ago, the buy now, pay later you almost forgot about. And then a thought hits you, quiet, horrible. I don't know how I'm going to get out of this. And then, and this is the part nobody talks about, you pick up your phone, open Instagram, check out, because thinking about it hurts too much. Sound familiar? Here's what I need you to understand. That moment where you ran from the numbers, that wasn't weakness. That was your brain doing exactly what it was wired to do. And that same wiring is the reason your debt keeps getting worse. Not because you're bad with money, not because you're lazy, because of biology, because your brain is actively working against you, and nobody ever told you how. My name is Vance. I make videos that break down how money actually works, not the textbook version, the real one. Hit subscribe if that's new to you. Now let's get into it. Here's a number that stopped me cold. According to a 2023 study by the American Psychological Association, 72% of Americans report feeling stressed about money. And here's the part that really gets me. People with the highest debt levels showed the highest levels of avoidance. The more they owed, the less they looked at it. The more they ignored it, the more they pretended it wasn't there. That's not a coincidence. That's a pattern. It's called financial avoidance, and it is one of the most destructive forces in personal finance, not because it's dramatic, but because it's completely silent. Think of it like a leak in your ceiling. Small at first, you notice it, it makes you uncomfortable, so you put a bucket under it and tell yourself you'll deal with it later. Days pass, weeks pass, the bucket fills, the ceiling sags. What was a small repair becomes a full renovation. That is exactly what debt avoidance does. The longer you look away, the worse it gets. But the avoidance is just the symptom. The real problem underneath is what neuroscientists call the stress-debt cycle. And once you see it, you'll recognize it everywhere. Here's how it works. The moment debt exists, your brain registers it as a threat, not a financial threat, a survival threat. Your amygdala lights up, cortisol floods your system, fight or flight kicks in. And when you're in fight or flight, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for long-term planning, rational thinking, and impulse control, goes partially offline. What takes over? Short-term thinking, immediate relief, emotional spending. A study published in Psychological Science found that financial stress literally reduces cognitive capacity by a margin equivalent to losing 13 IQ points every single day. Being in debt doesn't just stress you out, it actively makes you worse at the thinking you need to do to get out of debt. That is the trap. Debt creates stress. Stress impairs thinking. Impaired thinking creates worse decisions. Worse decisions create more debt. And around it goes. And here's the part that most finance channels completely skip. Over time, debt stops feeling like a problem you have. It starts feeling like a problem you are. You stop thinking, I made some bad decisions. You start thinking, I'm just bad with money. And the moment that story becomes part of your identity, you stop trying to change. Because why would you? That's just who you are. Research from Stanford University shows that people who believe their financial situation reflects their inherent worth are significantly less likely to take action to improve it. The debt isn't just in your bank account, it's in your head, and it's telling you a story about yourself that is completely false. So what do you actually do? Step 1, you look at it. Open every account, write down every balance, every interest rate, every minimum payment. Not to fix it yet, just to see it, all of it, on one page. Here's why this works. When debt lives in your head, your brain turns it into a monster. But the moment you give it actual numbers, your prefrontal cortex comes back online. It stops being a monster in the dark. It becomes a math problem. And math problems have solutions. Research shows that simply writing down financial stressors, not solving them, just writing them down, measurably reduces cortisol levels. Facing it literally calms your nervous system. Step 2. Break the shame. Find one person you trust and say it out loud. Not for advice, just say, "I'm dealing with some debt and I'm working on it." Shame lives in secrecy. The moment you say it out loud, it loses power over you. Step 3. Stop letting minimum payments be your only move. Here's what nobody explains clearly enough. If you have a $5,000 credit card at 20% interest and you only pay the minimum, you will be paying that card for over 18 years, and you'll pay nearly $8,000 in interest alone on top of what you already owe, on $5,000. The avalanche method, paying the highest interest debt first, saves you the most money mathematically. The snowball method, paying the smallest balance first, gives you the psychological momentum to keep going. Pick the one that keeps you moving, because movement is everything. Step 4. Interrupt emotional spending. Every time you feel the urge to buy something to escape the stress that debt is causing, pause for 24 hours. Research from the University of California found that a 24-hour delay reduces impulse purchases by over 50%. You're not suppressing the feeling, you're just giving your rational brain enough time to come back online. Look, I know some of you are watching this at 11 p.m. with that knot in your stomach, and I need you to hear this directly. Debt is a situation, not a sentence. The cycle is real, but it is breakable. And it breaks the same way every time. One clear look at the actual numbers, one small action, one decision to stop letting shame run the show. Your homework this week? Just one thing. Open every account, write down every balance, don't fix anything yet, just see it, all of it, on one page. That's the first crack in the cycle. If this hit differently, subscribe, hit the like button, and drop a comment below. Tell me, what's the one financial thing you've been avoiding the most? I read every single one. I'm Vance. See you in the next one.